Hi everyone, sorry we're late. We were live, but somewhere else. I don't know what happened. Anyways, thank you for joining us. We're on our episode 76. So we are going to be talking about the Housing Quality Standards Inspection. And this is a house inspection that you have to get done if you're applying for a loan with the down payment assistance program. So stay with us because we're going to learn a lot of things today. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. We had some technical difficulties, so give us some hearts. Let us know if you can hear us clear. Let us know if you can see us. We were live on a different page. I think on we have like 10 different pages. Anyways, today we're talking about housing quality standards. Is the HQS inspection, and usually when you're applying for down payment assistance, you need this inspection. You need the house to pass the inspection. And today we have with us Jennifer and Lonnie from Davidson Inspections. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, hold on. Thank you for being so patient with this.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no problem.
So let's start again. We already kind of practiced. So tell us how you started, and because I know I posted a picture on our flyer, and I thought it was you and Lonnie, and it was actually you and your husband.
Right.
My dad.
And yeah, your dad. So tell us about
23 years ago, I met someone who told me about a woman who was doing a thing called home inspection, and I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of it, so I called around to find out about it, and finally ended up calling this woman who was a home inspector, and she said, "Come on, Jennifer, I'm going to bring you with me to learn how to do this." And she taught me a lot about it and showed me a school to go to, and so I went to the school, and then about a year later, my husband, who is a general contractor, went to the school, and we started Davidson Inspection, and we're starting our 26th year now.
26. So it must really help having the background in construction for...
Well, it does help a
Yes,
lot.
it definitely helps us as agents because there's so many questions that come up when we're doing an inspection. Is this expensive? Could this be a deal breaker? And when you have somebody with the construction background, they can easily say, oh, that's very common in a house of this.
It's very important to be able to put it into perspective.
Yes, definitely. So that's really good information.
And that's a regular home inspection. The Housing Quality Standard Inspection is an inspection that is required by the county or the city so that they know that the house meets or condo meets their minimum standards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's a little bit different than a regular home inspection in that sense.
Right. So tell me about you.
My name's Lonnie. This is my mom, Jennifer, and
What a blessing to work with your son.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's so great.
Yes.
It's really
It
nice.
is.
Yeah.
I've been inspecting for about 4 years now. Right after out of high school, I went and started working construction. Kind of wanted to do my own thing. Was done with school for a little bit. Worked for a contractor over in Coronado, and then went back into school. I decided I wanted to go back to school. Got my degree in psychology.
To make your mom proud.
Yeah, exactly. and then I ended up back with the family business. I've grown up around home inspection, had my background in construction. It was just a good fit. And, I think you can use psychology in any field, really. So
In this one more. We need to know psychology. So, yes, it comes in handy. That's why you're so great.
yeah, I can deal with people.
You can definitely be a better son when you took psychology.
Yeah.
Right?
He is a great son.
Yes.
And
He could be a coach.
Partner.
Yes. Aw. So, okay, so let's talk about, now that we know about you, let's talk about, I know there's not that many inspectors. I met them through this program because there was not as many inspectors that were certified for the Housing Quality Standards Inspection. So tell me, how many are there?
there's only 3 or 4 now, and
We're good. There, you can see yourself there. This
Okay.
one is a little behind, so it's like a few seconds behind. So
okay, so yeah, there's only 3 or 4 that are qualified in the county,
mm-hmm.
and the city approached us in 2009 and approached all of the home inspectors with the California Real Estate Inspection Association, asking them if they wanted to be in with this program.
Right.
And there were only a few of us that did.
That wanted to do it.
And they haven't opened it back up again to everyone else. So there's just a couple of inspectors.
Oh, because they probably feel they have enough. But you were saying that now you guys go all the way up to Temecula because they don't have one up there, right?
Yeah, they didn't have their own HQS program out there, and so what they were trying to do was take a full inspection report, just a regular home inspection, and the lenders were trying to dissect it and figure out what was an HQS item, what wasn't,
Yeah.
and that's just,
Crazy.
Not really, they shouldn't be doing that, first of all.
Yeah.
And it's just too much, so they decided we've done 2 or 3 out there now. Hopefully we'll start going out there more. It's a drive, but
growing your team, you can just hire someone from up there.
Yeah, maybe train.
If you
some
find
more
a good
people.
inspector,
Yeah,
right? Somebody you can trust, because you
Yeah.
guys are so good with everything that you want to hire. If you're gonna grow your team, it needs to be somebody just as good as you.
Yeah, it's hard to. It would be hard to bring someone on because.
Yeah, because it's all a family business.
Yeah.
Right.
And with the HQS, it's some of the stuff. It's not. It's kind of black and white sometimes. We do have to make judgment calls.
Right.
Sometimes, it's not. They didn't give us a list of things like these are the items that are going to fail an HQS inspection report.
Right.
Sometimes it's for us to decide if this is something that is big enough or is a big enough safety concern
Right.
to put on the HQS.
I think you guys are really good with that. If it's not, then you guys, okay, this is not really, and it helps the buyers because, these buyers are trying to get into these houses and we just want to make sure they're safe.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
that's
yeah.
the main
And
goal.
that is why we always really encourage people to get their own full home inspection, because we
Yes.
might be able to say what is an immediate safety issue that would be an HQS item, but there might be other issues that could become safety issues that aren't going to be in the housing quality standard report, but would be in a regular home inspection.
Yeah, the
Right.
HQS is it's a very minimum.
Yeah, that's just for
minimal
safety. It's
inspection.
not the actual inspection, right?
For safety items, it's immediate safety items. So
Right.
it's usually things that you could reach out and shock yourself. This thing could tip over and hurt a child,
Right.
or there's sometimes things, if we were to just do a regular HQS inspection report without a full inspection, we're not opening up the electrical panel. We're not
Right.
seeing things
Just what
that,
you can see on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if someone could reach into the electrical panel, we're gonna call that out for the city for sure. But we're not opening it up, looking into it, and that's why it's so important to get a full inspection, because
Right.
there could be things that are potential safety items, or maybe even with an electrical panel, a fire hazard.
Right.
That we're not going to see,
If
so it's
you're
really
just
important.
doing the minimum.
Yeah.
So make sure you get the full inspection. Sometimes you get a better deal if you get both of the inspections together. You get a discount, right? I think if they do them
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, we put them together.
Yeah. So if your realtor is going to these classes, like Stephanie Puente, they have classes every 45 days. So they're teaching us. These are the things that need to happen with this program. Because if we don't know, we tell our clients just get any regular inspection, and then you still need to pay for the HQS inspection. So you might as well get them with a certified inspector and get both of them at the same time. So that way you guys save some money. But make sure you definitely get a full inspection like Lon is saying, because you will be able to make a request for repairs and have the seller fix some of that stuff for you. The seller usually, sometimes they don't even know what's wrong with the house. Not that they don't want to fix it, they just are not aware. So this inspection really helps you and the seller as well. Right. So how many of those do you do per month?
We do anywhere between 0 and 20, or 1 and 20. It depends on the program, when it funds. The city and the county will run out of funds, and so once they run out, we don't get any calls for the HQS inspections. But then once the city funds again, then we'll be doing them again.
Yeah, like this time we were saying, like the funds came in, we had 20s of
People just
hundreds
start
of buyers
calling,
just
yeah.
waiting for the money, and then there was tons of inventory, and now most agents are taking these offers from these loans because now we're more educated and we know they're good loans. They're going to close in 45 days, so we feel better taking those offers. So I think all these buyers were able to find a house right away. That's why you guys were so busy.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, let's see, what's the next question? So what are the things that you're looking for in that inspection?
So with the HQS inspection, we're looking to see if it's meeting the city or the county or Chula Vista or wherever, if it's meeting their minimum standards basically. And the things that go into that are, is it a good house? Meaning, does it have kind of the basic necessities of a house? Meaning, does it have functional heat? Are there electrical outlets in every room, that function? It doesn't have to be up to the modern code of every 6 feet or,
Right.
It's just as long as there's,
Some.
yeah, exactly. Those electrical outlets have to be functioning properly. If there's a gas range, it has to be functioning properly, things like that. And then there's secure, meaning that all the windows and doors basically need to latch. Pretty simple. Sometimes even if it's like a second story, you've experienced this before. If it's like a second story condo and a window doesn't latch, we're not going to probably call that out for HQS. That'll be in the regular inspection report. But that's one of those things where it's kind of gray area sometimes, where we make the judgment call exactly on stuff like that. If it's second story, someone's going to need a ladder to break in most likely. So. It's not as immediate as, exactly. And then the third thing is safety. Like we had talked about before, it's always something right in front of you that you can kind of reach out and touch. A really common one is no anti-tip brackets on the range. They never put them on for some reason. But it's one where we always ask if they have children under 6. Because for lead-based paint and then for certain things like the anti-tip brackets, we actually won't put them in the inspection, in the HQS report if
they're adults only.
Exactly, if they're adults only. So
depends who's going to live there.
But those are the 3 criteria. Pretty basic, not a full inspection in any sense.
So most of the things that are failing are usually the anti-tip. Do you guys, there's a bracket that goes on the floor, so then I think the stove slides backwards, right?
Exactly.
And it clicks on that.
On the foot.
On the front, yes.
Of the range.
Of the range of the stove, the range. Because sometimes when you open the door of the oven, the kids use it as a step to get on top and see what's on the stove, and then it tips over. So there's been a lot of accidents like that. So that's why it's one of those things on that inspection that needs to be on, and we have failed every time.
With the tip bracket?
Yeah, every time nobody has it. Like even the flips, they always forget to put it on.
Yeah.
I don't have one in my house. I don't have any kids, but still,
I didn't have one for a while, but I recently got a new range, and then they came and I said, "Are you gonna put an anti-tip bracket on?" And the guy
You're such a good inspector.
The guy says, "It's my only job." He's like, that's
good.
really my only job is to put the anti-tip bracket on and hook up the gas.
Right.
So it's kind of funny that it's his only job, but people don't do it all the time.
Yeah, they don't do it.
Yeah,
I know they didn't do it in mine, so now I have to do it because I'm going to sell the house pretty soon, so I need it. So then what are the other things that they miss? You said, the other thing that I always have to get fixed is the outlets in the kitchen.
Yeah,
because they're not...
GFCI protected?
And now it has to be all of them, right?
Yeah. And that's also a gray area. If it's just an old house, that doesn't have GFCI outlets in the kitchen, as long as they're grounded outlets, we'll pass it. But if they've come through and it looks like they've remodeled the kitchen, they should have brought some of things up to code. Exactly. We're not making sure that every little aspect of the kitchen is up to code for HQS. But with GFCI outlets, it's such an easy thing to do.
Right, they should have done it.
Having the wet areas GFCI protected is one of the cheapest safety upgrades you can do to a house or condo. And it's just, ideally for me, I would like to just always make them do all GFCIs in all wet areas.
They're not that expensive.
But sometimes, certain things.
If it's an older house.
I hate this word, but are grandfathered in, and if they don't, if they never upgraded the kitchen and they never had GFCI outlets in there to begin with, we don't call that out for HQS. We'll certainly recommend it in the full inspection report that we're hoping they're getting.
Right.
But yeah.
That really helps.
And also hot and cold reverse is very common.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to have the hot water on the left and the cold water on the right. And quite often the cold will be on the left and the hot on the right. And it's considered a scalding
that
hazard.
I haven't seen.
If the water heater is turned up really high, the water can come out of the faucet very hot.
Right, you're thinking it's the cold water.
Yeah.
Wow.
And sometimes people get caliente and cold, mixed up.
They
So
see the
sometimes
C.
I think, I've
Yes.
heard at least,
Yes.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I
But I've
think
heard
so.
That you see the C and you think, okay, that's caliente, when really,
It's
that's
cold.
the cold, exactly.
So you have to make sure that it's left and the right is the
Hot's
cold.
on the left, cold on the right.
Another common fail item is the door between the garage and the living space of the house is a fire door. And so it has to be a certain type of door, a solid core or 20-minute rated door that is self-closing and tight-fitting.
Right.
And the idea is that if a fire starts in the garage, it will give people time to realize that there's a fire and get out of the house. And so it's going to take at least 20 minutes for the fire to burn through that door.
Yeah, that's one of the things. A lot of my sellers, when they're selling the house, I find that the house doesn't self-close anymore because they remove it. Because sometimes they're bringing in groceries and they take that off. So when they're selling, I always tell them you need to put it back on. They're like, oh, it's such a hassle. Yeah, but it's a safety thing.
Yeah, you want that.
It is a hassle, especially when you're bringing in groceries and you're like, oh, these darn doors. So yeah, definitely make sure you do that. I think it's a good idea to have an inspection when you're gonna sell. So that way you fix all those things before your buyers start coming through. And then when they do their own inspection, there's only minor things that they're gonna find and you're just gonna look so much better and not get a huge.
Yeah, we do a decent amount of listing inspections.
Right?
For some agents in San Diego.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the investment. What else? Let's see. How much is it, and is there a reinspection fee? Because what happens if there is only a pass or you don't pass or fail on these inspections, the HQS inspection. And if it doesn't pass, then you have to make sure it passes before the city will lend you the money on that house. So how much is the regular inspection, the HQS inspection, and is there a reinspection fee?
Well,
on an average.
Every inspector charges different fees. Generally, our HQS fee is $325. But if we're going to Temecula or Campo, or we have an hour's drive or a 45-minute drive each way, then we're going to charge more. And then if it's a condo, usually we'll do both for $425. And then if it's a house, will do both inspections for $525.
That's a good price.
Ordinarily, just a home inspection is averages around $450 alone. So it's really a big savings to do both.
To do it together. And the reinspection fee?
The initial fee includes a reinspection.
Yeah, not all inspectors do that because most of the inspectors, they do charge a reinspection fee. So when I found out that you guys don't, I was excited.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I felt like it was a conflict of interest because if we get a fee to go back, then we're definitely going to look for something so that we can come back, right?
I didn't say it, but that's how I always felt. But I thank God it didn't come from you.
So that's why we like to include it in the first price.
Yeah. However you look at it, we like to look at it as
I like that.
It's included in the original fee.
Right.
So if we have to come back or not, for the people that don't have to have a reinspection, they're paying as much as the people who do. But they don't have to have a reinspection.
But it's still a good price because they're still getting a discount for getting both of them together,
and
right?
you want to not have to have a reinspection because that means it passed, you can move along quicker with the city.
And if they get both inspections and then have the type of loan that gets reimbursed for the HQS portion, then they're really having not very much money at all out of pocket for the inspection, for a home inspection.
Let me just acknowledge some of the people that are here watching us. We have Jenny, she's a realtor. Hola Jenny, thank you for joining us. Diana de la Torre Ortega, she's also a realtor and I know she's doing these programs. Yay, yeah, she's like, yeah, finally I could get in. They couldn't find the video. Thank you for being patient with us. We had just some minor difficulties, but Dianita, they are going to be the inspectors because I know you're using this program now. So Maria Luisa knows them as well. So make sure that you reach out and get to know them. Hopefully you'll be able to work with them. It's Lonnie and Jennifer. Information, very important. Maria Luisa, that's, Maria Luisa, one of the lenders. She's there. Alberto, I think I met them in an inspection a few days ago. Alberto Zuniga, he's a termite company.
Oh, nice.
You probably met them. Karen Vargas, that's our manager. Marisol Nunez, thank you for watching us. Hi. She says hi, Vero. Luis, thank you for joining us. Yeah, he's also saying that you guys are great inspectors.
Oh, great.
Okay,
Thank you.
we have Jamie Guerrero watching us. Andrea Kleiman, Jose Melara, thank you. He's our title rep. Osiris Gonzalez, thank you for watching us. Very detailed. Thanks, guys. Excuse me. I once had hot water in the toilets.
That's a good one. I've seen. That
I've heard of
before.
that before, yeah.
Oh my God.
Or I've seen like exterior, just like hose faucets before that for some reason had hot water going to them.
That
Normally
is
that would just
funny.
be cold water. But it was
Wow.
just like straight hot water. So if you had that hot water heater turned up, too much, it was really hot water on the exterior.
You had a soft butt,
Yeah.
Karen. That's a secret. Laura Cabrera is watching us. She's one of our buyers. Thank you. Thank you for including the reinspection fee. Right thing to do. Yes, that's good. Victoria, hello, fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so now let's talk about a little bit about regular inspections. I know we were just talking about housing quality standards inspection, but what about the regular inspection? What are the things that you guys look for?
A home inspection is a visual evaluation of the major systems and components of a home.
Okay.
And so we're looking at all of the major systems, so the roof, the structure, the electrical, the plumbing. We're looking at the age and the wear and tear on them, whether the client can expect to be replacing those anytime soon, if there's problems with them, if they need repair now, if they're going to need repair or replacement soon. What else, Lonnie?
The roof. How extensive
roof
is the roof?
foundation thing, pretty much everything. I like to say almost everything except for like irrigation, low voltage. We're gonna look at it all and note something about it.
Right, it's easier to say what we're not looking,
Yeah, exactly.
looking at.
Because we're looking at a whole
at
lot.
everything.
And we sort of know generally what the lifespans are of the different systems and materials, and so we can give the client an idea. And with the inspection is really two parts. It's one on site and one the report. And the on site's really important for you, the client, to be there so that we can show you what we're finding, so that when you get the report, you'll understand its contents.
Yeah, I think that makes it's so much better it'll be easier for the clients to understand. Sometimes you just get all letters, no pictures, no nothing, and it's really hard for clients to know what it is. And they're really good because let me just tell you about an experience. I don't know if you remember, but we had an inspection and it was a full inspection, and this house had some issues on one wall, a part of the foundation, because it was a 2-level house. And it had been fixed. We had all the reports from the engineers, but I didn't tell them. I wasn't going to tell them. I'm like, I want to see.
Testing us.
Right. I wasn't really testing it. I'm like, if it doesn't come up, And then they kept talking to each other, and they're going up in the roof. And then I'm like, okay, I better tell them. So I was like, just so you know. And then Lonnie's like, okay, good. Because I was just seeing this, and they already had it. They were trying to figure out how they were going to tell me. But we had it all figured out, and it had been repaired. And we found out why it was happening.
Yeah, well, what it was is I remember that one, and there was a big crack, like right when you walked in the entrance door, there was a big crack going through the stucco, and it had really opened up quite a bit. Small cracks on stucco are common. We see small cracks, hairlines, not a big deal. On the opposite side of the house was the exact same looking crack. Right. And then in that living room area, we felt a little bit of unevenness of the floors. So automatically we're thinking slab crack.
Right.
You have 2 separate levels. Right in between those 2 separate levels, big cracks forming. It seemed like maybe the lower level moved down. Who knows? Right. But something separated, and that was probably going to be our biggest concern of that inspection. And we love it when the realtor comes to us and says, oh, well, we have this disclosure about engineer. Yeah, exactly. That's
they had the engineer report, and
they
had fixed it.
And anytime, then, we can
confident.
feel better about it. Exactly, because we know an engineer came out and
looked at it.
Yeah, exactly. An
evaluated
it, did repairs, or at least recommended repairs. Yeah. And, buyer's going to now know what was done or what needs to be done.
And as
Right.
inspectors, we are generalists, so we're looking for symptoms and problems. And if we see the symptoms,
Yeah, you have to
in
prove
that
it.
in that instance, we would have said we're seeing a crack on this side, one on that side, unevenness in the floor,
You
and
recommend
so
an
we're going to
engineer.
recommend that you have an engineer come and look at the house or a
Yeah.
foundation contractor.
See, this seller,
Mhm.
she did an inspection before she put it on the market.
Yeah.
Because when she bought it, they had already fixed that. And she wanted just to make sure, so she called the engineers again to get it looked at and get it certified that it was fine still.
Cool.
So, and then these buyers ended up doing concrete because it was the water that was coming. Because remember, there was a hill?
There's a slope in the back, yeah.
Mhm. And they had no concrete there, so they did all the concrete. So there's some drains, so
Remember
they're
them, they were a
not.
nice young couple.
Yeah, they were super happy. Jessie and her husband. It's because she's my friend now. We're always on Facebook, but her husband I hardly ever see him. Sorry. Okay. On Race Foundations homes, do you go under the house?
Oh yeah, of course. Going under is, I love being able to go under, and most people are like, you could not pay me to go underneath the house, but
Spiders and
you can see so much. You know, when you have a house that's just concrete slab, there's plumbing going through it, you know.
you can see
You
it.
can't see the actual foundation because there's flooring over all of it. You know, I crawl underneath the house and I can see plumbing, electrical,
Yeah.
framing, foundation, moisture issues, how much moisture. I can see evidence of how much moisture has been hitting different
house.
sides of the house. You know, it tells me a lot about grading and drainage around the site. I mean, it's so great how much you can see underneath the house. Slabs are great too because you know they're slabs. They're so strong, and you know we build houses on slabs nowadays mostly.
Right.
So obviously it works. You know,
But
they're
just
great
to
systems,
check the
but
to
I
check
love
the
the 60s
plumbing
house
and
where I can just crawl underneath and you know just check everything and come out and tell the client, you know, like, yes, there's an issue with this foundation, or no, this foundation looks pretty good. As versus we feel some unevenness in the floor.
but we don't know.
We're gonna recommend you have these floors pulled up and you know have someone look to see if there's any significant
Yeah.
cracks, things like that.
Under the carpet, you never know.
Yeah, because we can take our ball bearing and roll it on the floor and see where it goes and tell that there's unevenness in the floor and, you know, put things together with cracks in the walls and uneven doors. And, you know, we can go so far, but we can't see the foundation. And when
Right.
we crawl underneath the house, it's like, you know, as long as I can get there and
I don't
see
want to
it-
get under there.
Yeah.
I
I'll go
miss
under
it.
there for you.
I stopped 3 years ago. I haven't been under a house for 3 years. Lonnie started with me 4 years ago, and now he goes under the house, and he goes on the roof, and he goes in the attic. So I don't
Lucky
do
Jennifer.
that anymore. I did that for
24
23 years
Yeah,
or so,
23
yeah.
years.
So how can people find you? Besides on my website, I do have them on my website.
Oh, our website, davidsoninspections.com,
And your phone number?
619-987-2873.
619-987-2794.
Perfect. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. I know I hadn't met them when we had your inspection. You had, I think, the other inspector. Do you guys check septic?
No, we don't check septic. We recommend that they get the septic company to come out.
Certification
And
and
we just did a house out in Hamul the other day that had septic, and you know we'll look in the backyard to see if we can see where the opening for the tank is, and if there's you know where about the leach field might be, things like that. But it's beyond our expertise. We're
We'll run
generalists.
water for a long
Yeah,
time.
we'll run
Yeah.
water for a really
Just
long
in
time.
case,
See if there's backups.
You know,
or-
we see water leaking out on the land somewhere.
that you know something is wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually it's better to
But-
get it in somebody that specializes in the septic tanks, right? To
Yeah.
get the septic
Yeah,
cert
same
and
thing
then
with
the
propane. When you're out in areas where there's propane or where there's septic, there's also oftentimes no city gas run to the
Right.
building. You know, we make sure that the propane tank is not too close to the house, that it's not too close to the property line, that you know we'll look for corrosion on connections. You know, obvious things. But you know, we're gonna recommend that you have the propane company come out and do their own inspection and make sure that you know
that everything is good with
functioning
the house.
properly. Yeah.
Yeah, always is better to do your inspections, even though it's going to cost you. It could save you a lot of money in the long run, just knowing what's going on with the inspection. Okay, do you think there's anything we missed? Any advice you want to give these new home buyers that are using this program to buy these houses?
We always recommend to find CREA or ASHI certified inspectors. CREA is the California Real Estate Inspection Association.
Okay.
And ASHI is the American Society of Home Inspectors. They're both the certification associations that have been kind of teaching us and keeping our continuing education going so that we're the best inspectors that we can be.
That's great.
In California, there's no licensing. A lot of states have licensing for home inspectors, but we have to rely on certifications to let people know that we're qualified.
Right.
So we're ASHI and certified, or CREA and ASHI certified home inspectors. Right now, I'm actually the secretary for the San Diego CREA chapter.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. So we stay. My mom's been past president. My dad's been president. And secretary, and this.
That's great that you guys are so involved with all
Yeah,
that.
we just went to a ASHI conference here in San Diego over at the Town and Country in Mission Valley, which was great. It was Inspector World. For nerds like us, it was pretty fun, and we're always learning more and more about home inspection, and that's what separates the ASHI and CREA certified inspectors from people who are not certified or are certified by some other associations.
Yeah.
There are other associations, and they do have education, but it kind of leaves it more up to the inspector to get their own education.
And these ones, they actually guide you to get certified,
You have to keep to stay certified and to stay relevant. You have to keep doing education. And
that's great.
We have to have 30 continuing education credits a year for CREA, California Real Estate Inspection Association, and 20 for ASHI, for the American Society of Home Inspectors.
That's why you guys are so good. And you know what I like about you guys? It's that for us realtors, our buyers are really looking to your reaction to everything in the house. So there's some inspectors that are not really savvy, and you can tell that they're not sure about something, and buyers can smell that like a mile away.
Well, the really great thing about home inspection is I've been doing this for 25 years, and I'm still seeing things that I've never seen before. And so what every inspector really has to learn is to be able to say, I don't know, but I'll find out for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have a lot of different inspectors and experts that we can call or refer to if we have questions.
I think that's the best thing of being involved like that. That you guys have a big network.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how I feel about us being realtors instead of just real estate agents, being part of the Association of Realtors, because we have to abide by certain rules and guidelines.
You need refreshers.
Yeah, and then if I have a question, we hang out together. We have, we learn from the experience of many others that are doing exactly the same thing. And if I'm by myself in an office, just a real estate agent, I'm missing out on learning all those things because I'm not involved.
Totally.
So I'm glad that you guys are doing that. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Great. I only know about her grandkids. You didn't tell us how many grandkids you have. Tell us.
4.
4. Wow.
Lonnie has 2 and my daughter has 2.
Yeah. I saw her at Stephanie's class and she was showing me the picture. She was so excited. You were not there, but I was like, oh, it was a brand new baby. So cute. What's his name?
Lonnie.
Lonnie.
Me.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the youngest one, right? How many months is he?
He's
14 weeks.
Yeah.
Your mom. See, I'm not lying. She's like all of us.
Math really quick.
She's like 14 weeks, 3 hours.
Exactly.
Yes, she is. She is. So, well, thank you so much for all that information.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
It's been great.
Hopefully we close many this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
It'll be awesome too. Well, you guys are welcome to come back here with us and talk. If you want to share any information ever with our clients, please let us know.
Class.
We have a lot of realtors that join us, that watch this video. We're very involved with Stephanie and her classes, Maria Luisa with Team Puente. So definitely, let me just make sure I didn't miss any. Jessie said they are the best, very professional. She's the one with that the wall.
Yeah. I remember her. She was so sweet.
Thank you, Jessie. See, we remember you. Congratulations. Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna have a raffle, right? You want to give it to her, and then.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
gonna give out 2 gift cards. Let's see. Pull one.
All right, the first winner is Jenny. Love your name.
Yay! Of course. Okay, Lonnie, you pull another one.
All right. Maria Luisa.
Maria Luisa Sarris.
Yes.
Yay! One of our lenders. Starbucks for you. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for coming.
Yes, and please call us if you have any questions.
Definitely.
Thank you. And they're on my website. You can go to fabygonzalez.com, and it'll be on professionals. You'll find their information. And also, you can go to their website, Davidson Inspections. .com. And don't forget, we have an open house this Friday from 2 to 5 here in Chula Vista. The address is 1539 Sonora Drive, and it's right here by Brandy Wine and Olympic. So see you there, 2 to 5. Come and see us. Bring us a Starbucks. Okay, guys. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.